is on a boatman.
And what happens in Shakespeare's version of the play?
Well, four young lovers go into the woods.
I don't know too much, but I do know, I think it's about some girl who, I don't really know. It's not a lot.
There is a love triangle between three of the characters, and there is a love potion that is brought into the chaos of the play.
Each man is in love with the other woman, and the other woman's in love with the other man for various different reasons, yeah.
And then there is some other characters that come in and cause mischief.
So Puck, he's a character in Shakespeare's Midsummer Night's Dream. He is a mischievous elf.
And some mischievous fairies decide to intervene, and lots of hijinks ensue. A lot happens, basically.
So I think Shakespeare is mainly to entertain people because of the time it was written, but I also think it helps tell us a lot about the world and how it used to be, like with how femininity was viewed back in that day, whereas now it's more valued. I think not only does it entertain the audience, but it also tells us and reflects the world of what we live in today. First, I like writing, so I would love to learn more, to think that my writing has been portrayed to the public. But I'd also like to think that if I'm helping rewrite it, I can also help rewrite it in values that weren't seen in the time back then.
Hi, my name is Charlotte. I used to see a play once that my brother was in that was also Midsummer's Night Dream. I just remember liking his performance, and it really inspired me. My creative passion is many things, but mainly writing stories. An old city with normal houses, but some of the houses would be up in trees, out a little bit. Trees, so it'd be like a tree house sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think I just love the classic language, and it's basically like he created a lot of the modern tropes we use in media today. Yeah, I can notice some of the plots that have been used in a lot of things, even just subtly, like how Romeo and Juliet has become West Side Story, and
I did Romeo and Juliet study, and I did that 2 years in a row. So in year 8 we did it for drama, and then in year 9 we did it for English. I liked his comedies and that sort of work.
Yeah, I think Midsummer Night's Dream is one of my favourite Shakespeare plays. I just think the storyline is kind of fun, and I love being interested in the older language that's being used and trying to decipher it.
And in my forest, there are trees everywhere, meadows with flowers, rivers and waterfalls.
And I would love to explore more deeper in Shakespeare's plays and stories, and love to rewrite them and just make it happier and just make the story interesting.
Whether whether anything is confusing to you as you go. So make those decisions.
Hello, my name is Jen.
And Jen, what have we been doing today?
We have been doing script writing.
Ophelia Rose. Whom's this Ophelia Rose? Or something along the lines.
I felt it's been very engaged. I really like how the team have discussed their ideas, and on the whiteboard we created a ideas section, and we all put their ideas down, and we all kind of bring the ideas together, and kind of put it into one element.
I really like the bits that we made like sensory friendly, because I think that's something when people think about accessibility they go like, oh, put a ramp and that's it. But it's so much more than that.
I also like when everyone acts out the scenes, because it gives me an idea of what it would look like.
Do you want that as a line? No, I was just snapping. That actually really funny.
It is. So it's just been like really good fun and so enjoyable, this whole process. Yeah, so my neurodiversity is autism. And I was diagnosed as an adult in 2011. And so when I was first diagnosed, I actually wished that I didn't have autism, because it actually caused a lot of problems in my life, because I was nonverbal at school. I was too afraid to talk to people. I hardly had any friends, missed out on a lot of things. So eventually I became depressed and felt very unhappy. But since then, that's all changed. I now embrace my autism. I'm actually interested in doing acting.
I'm Izzy. Well, I have a condition which no one really knows what it is, and it's called KBG syndrome. With this syndrome, I have like sensory issues. So normally I use strip lights in my room so that it isn't too bright, and also when I'm out and about I do wear headphones for the external sensory. So if I do get like a bus or a train, it's not as chaotic and it's not as loud when it comes through.
My name is Henry Wilson, and my passion is the craft of filmmaking, and every little component that makes a film great. Yeah, it's whether it be the directing, the acting, the writing, the effects, the makeup, the costumes, yeah, the editing, and so on and so forth. Yeah, I think every part should work together.
And what have you enjoyed about what we did today?
Being part of it. I'm supposed to be a supervisor, but I'm more of a participant. I've worked with autism for quite a while, and I'm also autistic myself.
Oh yeah, I'm autistic. I was diagnosed at age 3, and I feel like I want my life mission to be like to give people a better understanding of my condition, because I still think we have a long way to go. I've really liked Shakespeare's works since I was like 10, and hearing that it was going to be done as a bit of a neurodiverse reimagining, it made me feel like that's part of my mission, to bring more awareness to this condition and know that it's okay. But like, he goes off for a bit and he comes back with the head of a donkey.
So I was diagnosed at age 3 with autism, and that is basically from my understanding, it's a neurological condition, and more of a different perception of how the world works. And I've learned over the years to be okay with being different, because there's nothing wrong with it. And I think that the fact that Puck is different, and the fact that most of the characters in the story also are neurodiverse, really helps me relate to the whole story, the story as a whole.
My name is Jess. My main disability is functional neurological disorder, which is kind of described like if your brain is a computer, then the hardware is fine, but the software programs have like glitches in them, and it makes it hard for me to do things like walking, and sometimes I get tics and fainting and all different things like that. I need support, but I'm sort of recently like starting to be more proud of who I am and be like, it's okay that I need support sometimes. And having that support helps me to be fully who I am and do the things that I want to do. So I felt like really part of the group, so I felt like I was going to be heard because everyone was sort of like me in some ways. And I was able to bring my sort of lived experience of disability, like going to different places that aren't accessible and places that are, and bring that into the script writing process.
Today we've been looking through the story of Midsummer Night's Dream and seeing how we could change certain things and flesh certain things out. We've been changing the story to fit it more to modern times and also to fit it to a neurodivergent kind of sense. It feels really important to me because I feel like proper neurodivergent stories aren't really heard a lot, and I hope like maybe by changing the story, like some people can hear our voices. I like writing because it allows me to express my creativity in ways that I'm not sure other people could, because everyone's thoughts and feelings on certain things are different.
I've actually been enjoying it a lot because I thought that the script writing process would just involve us sitting around a table just coming up with lines, but no, that's not what it's all about. It's about writing the plot first and then going through the plots and then doing improv acting, and that's how the lines are written. So it's just been like really good fun and so enjoyable, this whole process.
And what we've done for the past 9.5 weeks is we've written the entire script from scratch, and we've reimagined the script, and it's going to be a whimsical themed A Midsummer Night's Dream with a lot of neurodiverse characters and also fairies, a glowing gold tree, and a lot of mischief and chaos.
I've also learned that I can actually be creative. I can actually come up with lines of dialogue for the scripts because I'm not actually like a creative writer at all. It is actually quite empowering to be able to do that.
It's not something you've done before?
No, never.
And to rehearse.
I've had to rehearsing still. Yeah, that's completely
Okay, that's different then.
still the rehearsing. What we're doing here is actually trying to make the same storyline still the same, but just make it a little more happier, including changing not a lot of the characters, but some of them to have a little more happier lives, but still keeping to the same storyline. And I just really hope that it does work well, including with the idea of time travel, which I came up with.
What are some of the issues that we want to change? So in the original play, Hermia is, if she doesn't choose Demetrius, she will either be killed or sent to a nunnery. And I felt like that was kind of confusing, so I just decided to scratch out the killing thing and just go for the whole live in a convent if you don't marry.
Also killing and violence, what do you feel about that anyway?
It's not really necessary for a comedy. I mean, unless it's Monty Python, but we're not that wacky.
My favourite character, that's a good question because I have a few. I like the character Puck because he represents difference, and he also represents that it's okay to be different. Given that he has fox ears and a tail, I think that the fact that he's celebrating about his difference is really what it all should be about. I also like the character Azealia Rose.
Theseus, Theseus, how would you feel from the heart if you could not marry the one you loved?
I like her because she basically gives the audience an insight into how the world should be. So, for example, it should be about people's choice, and people will be happier if they have choice, rather than living in ancient Athens and doing what someone wants them to do. So I think the voice of reason is good because it represents what the world should be like, and I like Puck because he represents that it's okay to be different.
Yeah, we've been filming one or two scenes of a character that I'm playing named Puck, who's a trickster and who transformed himself into a fox. So we've been filming Puck sniffing the ground and chasing a glowing worm. And then later on, we saw him looking up a tall tree. And then in the final shot that we just did, him falling out of a tree branch.
Uh-oh.
It's just literally been, yeah, just extraordinary fun. I have no words to say it, but it's just been extraordinary fun.
When we went to Rolly Pool to do the backdrop filming, we went to these various areas of course the bushlands, we climbed some rocks and walked around the rushing river, and I was the center of each shot to get an idea of how we film the shots, of course. Get an idea of the framing, of course. We of course had headphones, the mixer, of course. And I got and the microphone, and I got it as close as I could to the stream to record the sound of the water running, going down. Yeah. Yeah.
We did the narration at Victoria Hall. The area was set up like a proper soundstage, which was so cool. And I really loved doing it because I liked getting the feedback and being able to like hear myself back and do it really professionally, but it's still fun. I really liked that part so much. And it was weird to start with. I was like, it's kind of like when you fold your ear over and you're like, oh, that's how I sound. And you sound so different to how you think you sound when you have the headphones on, and you hear how everyone else hears you. Like, it's amazing. Too bright, too smelly, and too cramped. It was nice learning about the different way that the sounds are recorded and the different tones you can bring into narration and all the feeling you can put into it, everything.
Well, here we are on location on sets in Victoria Hall. So we have been filming Spectrum Space's a Reimagined Midsummer's Night Dream, and it's been a lot of fun. So I've been playing Titania, who is the queen of the fairies, and Bottom, who is a tradie and loves the fact that he is the star of the show. Yeah, I've enjoyed playing both roles. It's been interesting to see how we have to rehearse scenes and then do takes and then do retakes. What I actually did find challenging was when I was playing Titania, doing the fluttery things with making the wings flutter.
The acting part was kind of a novelty for the most part, yeah, because getting into a costume and going back in time to ancient Athens and just dressing up in those robes, in the yellow robes and stuff, and having all this makeup put over me. First it was kind of scary, but as I got into it, I became more invested in the character and of course the setting that I was in.
And then also playing one of the main lovers was really interesting because I had to do a lot of scene work with Honor, who's the other love interest, and learning how to work as a team, and then working with the two other love interests as well.
And look at her, that's it.
Yeah, I've enjoyed playing the characters. Well, Hermia, she's kind of this. She's very determined to live the life she wants, even though
that's not what everyone else wants, and I guess I myself can relate to that, so just felt really empowering being able to get that role. And playing Snug was also fun because I get to put my own little spin on the character.
The story, of course, you know, just sometimes it was also interesting just interacting with just things that you, of course, wouldn't exist in real life, and just being in awe of them. As Starveling, I felt like I did a lot more in terms of, you know, emotion and stuff. I was able to do more and just do a lot of funny things, of course, like holding the moon and just looking at it like as if it's just brilliant, the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
Like me and Jordan, who's playing Oberon, us like having to lie down on chairs, like doing this with our arms and looking up, and like wings, like our wings flapping, because like people had fishing rod wire making our wings fly. So that's been actually, yeah, also really fun.
Of course, the freezing part was really fun, of course. Just staying for as long as I could in the same pose. What I had to do was like this. At the beginning, when I was when the fairies came down and just rained dust all over us the tradies, and of course the next part, which was also kind of funny, when of course after we returned to foxes and doing all the yip sounds, and of course in the next shot when we looked up and we had our mouths open and the potion was given to us. Of course, that was kind of like really. That was kind of funny, of course, yeah.
And how did you find putting on the lion's costume, playing Snug as a lion?
Oh, that was pretty snug. Yeah, I liked that lion costume. It was really cute.
She was still the carpenter Snug.
I think I've enjoyed the whole process. So I've enjoyed getting into both costumes. I've also enjoyed the makeup experience, like chatting to the makeup artist and for Tanya wearing a wig, which I've never really had to do before. And so I've actually gained. Although I am a confident person, I've gained confidence and obviously acting experience, and also I was the clapperboard person for some of the scenes, which was actually really enjoyable, and made me feel even more included in the whole process.
How do you feel about acting now that you've done some acting?
Acting now, extraordinarily fun, and I'll love to do more of it in the future.
Tell us what you've enjoyed the most.
Probably playing as Wall and doing all the fun different things like being the fox, and also having to be in a statue for most of the filming on the last day. And then I also enjoyed using all the sensory items that we had on the set as well.
Moving forward from this big project, of course, I want to just help me get more confidence in the art of acting, of course, and and of course the best when I was out doing the filming, it was fun just going around, trudging around nature, and trying to experiencing some of the small perils around the bushes, and climbing rocks, and of course a stream going down in the river.
I would say the forest is definitely a place of freedom, and it is a place of magic, and one of the things about me is I've got a good imagination. So I think the fact that you can be free in the forest and have a great imagination is really, the forest is almost a symbol of what the world can be like for some people, but then again, everyone on the spectrum is different.
Sometimes I find it easier to work on my own than in a group because, like, yeah, I mean, groups can be good to bounce ideas off, but I just sometimes enjoy working in solitude a bit better. But like, it was fun working with a bunch of other autistic people, and I might hope to do it again someday.
I kind of learnt more about myself and who I am as a neurodiverse person, which was really interesting, like being able to have conversations with other people who are neurodiverse and realising, oh, maybe this is what I'm like, and like discovering more of myself was really amazing.
If you had the opportunity, would you do something like this again?
Yeah, I'd do it 100 times.
Yes, I would enjoy to do something like this again, because it was really interesting learning everything and putting everything together as like a group.
If I had a chance, absolutely, yes. I would do it again.